Welcome to the lesson on the lead parts of Mississippi Queen by Mountain. These are some great pentatonic major licks. This is a good example of great phrasing by Leslie West, the guitar player here. So let's just get right into it. It's going to start the intro solo. There's like 3 different solos. Well, there's an intro solo, and then there's a bunch of licks in between. I think it's the second verse, again, going back and forth with the lead vocal line. And then I think there's a solo at the end. So we're going to cover all of them. But the intro it sounds like this. Not terribly difficult as long as you can bend strings and such. So we're in E pentatonic or pentatonic major, E pentatonic major basically. But the box we're in, if you've studied the B.B. King, it's called the B.B. King box, a lot of people call it. But it's up here in position 3 of an E pentatonic minor. So if we have pentatonic minor here, and then the second box here, it's the third box. But we're going to be playing some major-y sounding notes in there, thus why it's pentatonic major. So it's going to start on the 19th fret of the B string. So we're going to bend that a full bend. And while we're bending, we're going to hold that bend and then hit the 19th fret of the E string with our pinky. Or if you're not comfortable with that, you can bend it with your second finger. I never do that, but some people are more comfortable with that. And then you do another bend on the 19th fret. Just like that. Then 19, just normal, no bend. To 17. And then you grab 18, 16 on the G string. Just like that. Then we're going to walk back up. So that's 16, 18, 17, hammer on to 19, back to 17. So far. Okay, then we're going to do that basically again. So 16, 18, 17, 19, 17. And you hit 17 again. Bend on 19. Hit the 19 on the high E string. So far we have then you go 18, back to 17, then you click, this is going to be 20, quick pull off to 17. And that's the whole intro lead. So let me do that for you one more time. Nice and slow. Okay, so take your time with that. It's not that difficult, really, as long as you can do your bends. But that's the intro. So now, next, let's take a look at these little lead parts. I think it's in the second verse. Okay, so in the second verse, we're going to have these little licks in between the vocal lines. And the first one sounds like this. So that's now we're in a different position. So we're at the ninth fret of the G string. That's our root note, E. So we're going to bend on the 11th fret and grab the 12th fret of the B string while we're holding that bend. So we got a little bend and release there. Okay, and he does that twice. Okay, the next one is very similar, but it's a bend and release twice. So only one pick on that bend. So we got then the next lick, we go back to the same as the first lick. So we got that, and we do it again. Then we got, and then we do this again. So we got a little theme going there. Okay, then when it switches to the A chord, we have a little bit different thing. So we got a bend on the 10th fret of the B string. He holds it. Then he hits the 10 on the high E string. Then you pick the 10 that you're holding the bend on the B string. And you release it. Then 8, and then it finishes up on a 9 on the G string. You might do 2 bends there at the beginning. Then the next one, we go back on the E chord, and he goes. So we got 2 bends on the 15th fret of the B string, and at the end, he releases it and pulls it off to the 12th fret. Pretty simple. But it makes sense, you know, you're on the E chord. He's bending right up to an E note. Okay, so the next lick in basic E pentatonic minor box is just a bend on the 15th fret, then 15, then 12, then 15 on the B string. So we've got okay, so the last lick of this verse sounds like this. Okay, so it starts with the 15th fret of the B string, bend, release, pull off to the 12th fret, and then a full bend that we're going to hold on the 14th fret of the G string. Then you're going to bend that again, release, 12, bend again, back to 12. So it's just like that. And he might even come back and hit the E on the 14th fret on the I'm not sure there, but you can listen to it. But that's it for that verse. So the only thing we have left to study there is the outro solo. Okay, so now we're into the last solo. So the first 2 licks, we'll just take a lick at a time like we did the last time, the last solo. First lick sounds like this. So it's similar to the intro. So we're at the 19th fret on the B string. Bend while you're holding it. You grab the 19th fret of the high E string. So you bend, pick the high E string, come back and pick the B string and release. 17, and then you hit the 18th fret of the G string. Then you do the same thing, but you end right there on the 17th fret of the B string. So we got. So those are the first two licks of the outro solo. Okay, the next lick sounds like this. So that's 14th fret, bend, full bend. Then 14 by itself, 12. Bend again on 14. Wait, bend, no bend, 12, 14. Bend again, 12, 14 on the D string. Then the next lick, we're going to bend on the 16th fret of the G string. No bend, 14, 12, 14 on the D. Okay, now this next lick is going to be over the A chord. So we got a bend on the 14th fret G string, grab the 15th fret of the B string, bend again on the 14. No, not a second bend on the 14. So we got bend, hit the 15, no bend on the 14. 12, back to 14, and then 14 on the D string. Okay, the next lick, still over the A chord. So that's 15 on the B string, bend, then no bend, 12, 14 G string, 12 G string, back to the 14th fret G string, which is an A, which is the root note of the chord that's underneath. Okay, so the next lick, now we're back to the E chord. So we got the bend, now we're back to the 19th fret on the B string. Two short bends. Then you go 16, 18 on the G string. 17 on the B string. Then 20 to 17, pull off. Okay, the next lick is just a back and forth between the 19th fret on the high E string and with a bend and no bend. So and he holds that out. Pretty simple. And then I think we just got one more lick. Okay, the last lick sounds like this. So we got bend on the 19th fret of the high E string. No bend, 17, 20. And you go 16 on the G, 18, and then 19, 17 on the B string. Okay, so that's it. That's the last of the lick. So that's all of the lead parts for Mississippi Queen by Mountain. So it's a great use of pentatonic major licks in there. So I would highly suggest, if you're interested in playing lead and soloing and improvising, to really study this tune and study these licks.